Giovanni de Medici, known to history as Giovanni of the Black Bands, was born on April 6, 1498, in Forlì, into two of Italy's most powerful and turbulent dynasties. His father, Giovanni de Medici il Popolano, was a relative of the great Medici family of Florence, while his mother, Caterina Sforza, the fierce and indomitable Tiger of Forlì, was the daughter of Galeazzo Maria Sforza, Duke of Milan. From the union of these two bloodlines came a man destined for greatness, a warrior who would embody both the cunning of the statesman and the raw, untamed courage of the battlefield. Orphaned at a young age, his father died when he was an infant, and his mother was imprisoned and later forced into exile. Giovanni grew up surrounded by uncertainty and danger. He was raised in Florence under the protection of his Medici relatives, but his fiery temperament often clashed with the discipline of court life. Restless, proud, and daring, he was drawn not to politics or letters, but to the art of war. From adolescence, he trained his body and mind with obsessive rigor. Horseback riding, swordsmanship, and endurance drills filled his days. He became known for feats of strength that bordered on the legendary. He could wield weapons heavier than those of ordinary soldiers, fight for hours without rest, and endure wounds that would have felled another man. When Italy became the stage for a series of devastating wars between France, Spain, and the Holy Roman Empire, Giovanni found his calling. At just 17, he joined the army as a condottiero, a professional soldier who led bands of mercenaries. His first campaigns revealed his extraordinary military instinct. He was bold in attack, unpredictable in tactics, and capable of inspiring absolute loyalty among his men. Unlike many mercenary captains of his time, Giovanni shared every hardship with his soldiers. He ate what they ate, slept where they slept, and was always first into battle. His fame grew rapidly. In 1516, while fighting under the banners of the Medici and the Papal States, he began to form his own company, an elite corps of Italian soldiers who became known for their discipline, courage, and ferocity. They would soon be called the Black Bands. The name came later, in 1521, after the death of Pope Leo X, Giovanni's Medici relative. In mourning, Giovanni ordered the white and red colors of his banners to be dyed black. From that moment, the bande nere, as they were called in Italian, became a symbol of fear and respect across the Italian peninsula. Wherever those dark stripes appeared, enemies trembled. Giovanni's reputation rested not only on his courage, but also on his innovation. At a time when traditional cavalry charges were giving way to the brutal efficiency of firearms and artillery, Giovanni understood that the world of war was changing. He adapted his tactics, combining the mobility of light cavalry with the precision of arquebusiers. His soldiers learned to fight both on horseback and on foot, striking fast, disappearing into the landscape, and returning to strike again, an early form of guerrilla warfare that astonished even seasoned generals. Yet, behind the warrior's mask, Giovanni possessed a fierce sense of honor and unshakable devotion to his homeland. He despised treachery and cowardice, and though he fought as a mercenary, his loyalty could never be bought with gold. "I fight for glory, not for money," he once declared. His enemies respected him, and his allies feared losing him, for his presence often turned the tide of battle. In the War of the League of Cognac, 1526 to 1527, Giovanni faced his greatest challenge. The Italian states, united with France and the papacy, rose against the might of Emperor Charles V. The campaign was brutal. The German Landsknechts, hardened mercenaries of the empire, swept through northern Italy like a storm. Giovanni, commanding his black bands, became the spearhead of the Italian defense. He struck with lightning raids, ambushed enemy columns, and harassed imperial troops across the Po Valley. His valor was unmatched, his tactics brilliant. But fate, as always, demanded a price. In November 1526, near the small village of Governolo, Giovanni led his men against an enemy detachment. During the clash, a cannonball fired from an imperial gun struck him in the leg, shattering the bone. Even then, he did not cry out. Carried from the field, he remained calm and defiant. When the surgeons prepared to amputate his leg without anesthesia, he looked at them and said with a grim smile, "Go ahead and cut. It's my leg after all." The operation could not save him. Infection set in, and the great condottiero died a few days later on November 30th, 1526, at the age of 28. With him ended not only a life of heroic courage, but an entire era, the age of the Italian condottieri, men who fought for honor in a world that was beginning to worship gunpowder and politics more than bravery. Giovanni left behind his wife, Maria Salviati, and their young son, Cosimo, who would later become Cosimo I de Medici, the first Grand Duke of Tuscany, the man who would fulfill, through power and diplomacy, the destiny his father had sought to win with sword and blood. Even centuries later, Giovanni's legend endures. He is remembered not as a mere soldier, but as the last knight of the Renaissance, the man who faced death with a laugh and charged into battle with the strength of 10 men. In the whisper of the wind across the plains of Lombardy, one might still imagine the distant thunder of hooves, the ghostly charge of the Black Bands, led by their fearless commander, Giovanni of the Black Bands, the Lion of Florence.